Hi guys, I'm Isa, and today I want to another programming game which is called Scratch. So, like all the programming languages we've been using before, Scratch is a block-based programming language. So it uses blocks instead of you having to write code. So, the first thing we have to do is to run Scratch. So since you need to run Scratch on your web browser, the first thing you have to do is open up your web browser. And then you have to search for doing scratch.mit.edu in your search bar. And then you press the create button if you want to create your project. So now it should open up this window. So this place over here is the stage, which is where you test your project. And this is the editor, which is where you put your code, which in this case are blocks. Just sprites. So they're pretty much the sprites that are used to make your project. That you're going to use to make your project. And use these to start and stop your project. So right now I have the Scratch editor opened. So in this sprite place, you can see this sprite. It's called Sprite 1. And you can go onto here to change the name of the sprite. I'm going to rename it to Player. And you press enter. So now I'm gonna go to this costumes tab over here. So that's pretty much where you can draw the sprites. So if you want to make a new sprite, so I'm just gonna delete this sprite by pressing this delete button. Hover our mouse over this place, and then so I'm going to press this paint button so I'll be able to draw my own sprite. So for now, I'm just gonna use the circle tool and set its color by dragging one of these sliders, and then an outline by pressing this outline. So I'm going to set this to black, and outline width, I'm going to set that to 10, and then you draw. Then you draw your sprites. So then I'm going to use this line tool, which is this, to draw a line. So I'm gonna move it down, and I'm gonna hold shift to make the line straight. And then release to start drawing the line. Now I'm going to like this line, just copy and then paste. And then I could put it for here. Now you can press these buttons to zoom in and out. So now if I select all of this, I'm going to snap it to this center piece over there. So now the sprite is centered. Now I'm going to go to my code tab. So in this place, you're going to see the X position and the Y position of the player. So set the X position to 0, and the Y position to 0, and it looks like that. And you can change the X positions and Y positions however we want. And then here is the size. So if I set size to something like 75, it reduces its size. So if it's 50, it reduces its size. If I say it to like 200, it increases its size. I'm just gonna leave that to like 80 for now. And the direction, if you click on it, will be this. If you could drag this thing to choose the direction, as you can see, this thing will be facing the place where the direction is. So now I'm going to go to here to rename the sprite. Rename it to player. So now in the code tab, The first thing you have to do is press events. So these are all the events that can happen. So I'm saying when flag clicked, which means when the project is started. So I'm going to go to motion. See all these blocks. So I'm going to say change X by 10. So now, every time we press the flag, it changes its X position by 10. If I add something like change Y by 10, it's going to be changing its X and Y. And I can also drag sprites if the drag sprites in the stage. So I'm just going to put it back here. And if you go to the control, you'll see all these blocks. So I'm going to just drag in a forever and put the change X by 10 and Y by 10 in here. Now if I put them under the one flag clicked and I go, you keep on doing it forever. So now I'm going to just drag it back to the center. And I'm going to just remove the change Y by 10 by dragging it onto the place where you select blocks. So now it's on. So here's this wait block. If I drag in wait 1 second, it's going to be doing it every 1 second. And then another one is when something key pressed. So I'm going to change this key to something else. So if I say one key right arrow pressed, it's going to remove these wait 1 second. Change X by 10. So now if the right arrow key is pressed, change it to X by 10. And when flag clicked forever, instead of using this, because when we use this on right arrow key pressed, you have to wait for some time if you want to be able to hold the key. And this one flag clicked forever, we want to say if, which is in the events. So if, then go to sensing, then this key pressed block. I'm going to change this key to right arrow and put in the change X by 10 in here. If I press the flag and press the right arrow key, it moves right. So if you don't want to have to keep on dragging the sprite, if you want it to go to the center, you can go to our one flag clicked and then drag this go to X and Y block. So I'll change this X to 0 and this Y to 0. Now when we run the project, it goes back to 0. So in this variables tab, you can see all our game variables. So you can see all our game variables. So variables can hold information. So let's make a variable. I'm gonna name it speed. So just for all sprites and for this sprite only, I'll just give it for all sprites. I'm gonna press OK. And with the speed variable counter. So now in the one flag click, I'm going to set the speed variable by using the set variable block, and then clicking on this thing to select which variable you want to do. So let's say set speed to like 8, and we're going to go to this F key right arrow pressed and say change X by speed instead of 8. Make that 10. Now, does that? Let's say if we have multiple controls, like if you say right and left. Now, we want the left arrow key to make it go to like negative speed. So, let's go to operators and drag in this multiplication operator and say change X by speed times -1. And now if we press the left arrow key, moves left. So if we change the speed variable, like if I click that speed to 20, then when you press the flag again, it changes the speed variable to that 8. And get to right click on this if you right press and press duplicate it. I'm gonna place it over here. And there's if key pressed. And say if key. Up arrow pressed. Then change X by speed. And let's say change Y by speed. And here instead and say change X by speed to -1. Then we change Y by speed to -1. Now if you press the right or left arrow key and move stuff. I'm gonna change this to down arrow. Now if you press the right or left arrow key, it moves right and left. And if you press the up and down arrow key, it moves up or down. So the last thing we're going to do is add a background. And I'm gonna press this place that says backdrops. And then press this backdrops place. So if we go to here and then instead click on choose a backdrop. There are a bunch of backdrops that you can choose. If you want, you can draw your own. But for now, I'm just going to choose one from here. So I'm going to pick one. And now you can see that the background has changed. Now I'm going to go to my player, then go to code. If you want to hide the speed variable counter, then go to variables, and then on the speed variable, we'll see all these checkbox. You can uncheck the checkbox and it hides. Now if I go to this speed variable, I right click, we'll see these 3 options. So there's normal readout, which is this one. The wide readout, which makes it big. And there's a slider. So when we do the slider, we'll be able to change the variable. So there will be the slider. So if I set the speed to like 64, moves that fast. It's a speed to like 3, moves slow. If I right click, I'm going to change slider range. Be able to change the range of the slider. I'm going to set it from 2 to 20. Now we'll be able to go from 2 to 20. But anyways, that's the end of today's tutorial. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. So bye.